Hello everyone and welcome to the weekly update for Captain Stardust. Today is March 17th. Let's see what we did this last week. This week we had 25 commits from 2 different contributors, which brings our lifetime commits to 61 from 3 lifetime contributors, and we just finished week 2 of 21. This week we had Neil come in and create a mini-map with some test icons, as well as started to lay out the fast travel sort of teleport pads around the map. I went through and added a couple more animations to our idle animation cycle. I, it turns out, accidentally made 11 different models for the shrapnel pieces, as well as modeled 25 different buildings with 3 different texture sheets, as well as started to integrate them into the map. And then our character can also pick up and deliver items for certain missions, as well as the relevant animations that go along with it, and then a couple of different bug fixes for that. So let's jump on over to our game here. So we're still in our sandbox area here. First I wanted to look at pick up and carry. Whoops, here we are. So these items have a static mesh on them, so the character can pick them up, and then in this box we have this little tick box for is timed, with a countdown timer of 30 seconds, so the character can pick this up and they have to deliver it within 30 seconds, whereas this one is not timed. So let's start there. And we'll walk on over here. At the top, you can see we have our time remaining up there. If you come up and you press the E key, then it will teleport on top of the character's head. And then we can, let's see if we can just drop it there and maybe just kind of push it that way. And then if we push it towards it, then it will complete the delivery as well as get rid of the timer. We can also pick it up and we can also fly with it. And we can go up and we can drop it in other places. Here's a look at one of the buildings that we have. And we can also put it down and land again, and then press the E key to drop it again. So now we have items that we can pick up whenever we are traveling about the world. On that note, let's jump on over to our city, because that's where a lot of the changes happened this week. We added in some of our fast travel little hover pads, buttons, travel spots. I'm not quite sure how we want to word it yet. They're not entirely working at the moment, but you can see the model there. And then we also have our skyline for New Lincoln City is really starting to come together. So this is part of the 30 some odd buildings that were integrated this week with a couple different texture sheets. So we have some cylindrical buildings, some tall buildings, some buildings with ledges. We have tall pointy buildings. We have little apartment complexes over here, but they're made to be really low poly, and they all basically look the same, except for whatever texture sheet is on top of them. And then we also have our big skyscraper in there. We have some new construction coming up over here, a couple parking garages. We have our baseball field. I'm sure the baseball field didn't like having a parking garage as their main view looking out into the stadium. But we can also fly around the city, and you can see the relevant scale of the buildings around it. We are running into a bug where all these different meshes have cube colliders, so if I were to stop flying right now, I'm landing on top of the edge of the collider for the stadium. But a neat thing with all of these buildings is they have a collider on it, so if we were to take our energy ball and we throw it, then we're creating shrapnel from that particular building. So all these different buildings have it there. So you can cause a little bit of mayhem in the city when you are trying to be a superhero. In the bottom left, we have our mini-map that Neil has been working on. So it is a top-down view of all of the different city buildings that are in the town. We also have a waypoint indicator over here, which is visible in the game, but also in the map as that blue dot over there. And then I think eventually we're going to be having the fast travel points on there as well. So that is where we are at for this week in the game. So jumping on over to our Trello, I'm going to check in with Neil to see how we're coming with the fast travel and the map elements. Those are probably going to slide into this week. I ran out of time on trying to get some of the sandbox functionality done as I was trying to get ahead of this monster block. So I'm going to come back in and tidy up all of those, as well as getting in a couple of enemies into our game. We have one that is on the ground and one that is flying, but there's still lots of ways to get involved through the programming, through the art. If you wanted to look a little bit further ahead, we have a lot more design, some city design, car design. We have lots of audio that's going to start coming in here soon, as well as some UI for some menu systems. So that is our weekly update for Captain Stardust.